Doesn't mean that we can't use it if we come up with a project that we can do. Let's say if the hall, we wanted to expand it to make it more handicap accessible or something like that, we can use it. We did talk in the last board before about how we can use them for like curb stops. So like if we have any areas like Willis or Whitaker or anything like that that has sidewalks, the little orange bumpy kind of looking things that you find at the end of it, so like wheelchairs and stuff like that, we can use it on something like that. But we would have to, you know, put in a project, have an engineer look at it, submit everything. So at this point, we are being listed as a donor community. And that's where we're at, kind of on that. So if anyone's got any ideas, thinking ADA wise, of a project that you can think of, let me know, we can get the ball rolling on doing a project and using those funds for it. Seniors, I did meet with them. They're still, I'm kind of cautious about talking about this at this point. There is some negotiations going back and forth. We did talk about the $200,000 a year. They're working with the school to work something out on a plan that they're working on as far as how the money gets allocated or who's actually in charge of that allocation. I did speak to the county commissioner, Hodge. His staff is connecting with them this week as well. So we'll know a little bit more, but like I said, I'm just a little cautious to talk about it until we get more information on that. And if you know anyone that is suffering homelessness, and the warming shelters have now opened up in Ipsy and Ann Arbor, I can get those flyers put up on some of the pages and maybe have for the township if you want. Most of the ones in this area, close to this area, would be Ipsy. It'd be more of a day warming shelter things. The more of the overnight ones would be Ann Arbor. But they are now starting to open up with you know, the days and nights getting colder. And I think that's it.
Yeah, we could put it on the website for sure.
Okay.
Very good, thank you, Linda.
No problem.
We got code enforcement. Let's see here. As of November 2020, as of November 2025, there are 57 open cases, open 5 new cases. Closed cases are when property owners comply with Augusta Township ordinance after receiving a violation notice and or ticket. In October, we had 12 closed cases. As of today, November 25th, current cases involve the following areas of Augusta Township zoning ordinance. In October, our cases involve blight, animal control, unlicensed vehicles, and noise complaints, as well as 2 dumping complaints, 2 soil erosions. We had 3 court appearances and over 36 Zoom courts. Of the Zoom courts, we won over 31 with a few adjournments scheduled for December. We will continue to educate our residents, increase their understanding of enforcement policy. For any questions on enforcement, please contact Roy Williams at 734-461-6117 at extension 212.
I have a question for you. So, now that we're near the end of the year, how do you feel that the curb appeal project went for the whole year, and you know, like, did we accomplish a lot, or do you think that it was, you know, worth what we did, and is it something we might do again at another time, or did we make a lot of progress during this year that we did?
So with the program, the main thing was that there's nothing new that started with it. It's already just ordinances that were in effect that hadn't been followed, right, and haven't been enforced. So it's nothing new. There's nothing been added to it. There was a grace period that was given from January until the 1st of August, right?
Yeah.
So that grace period was for people to have time, adequate time, to clean up any blight issues that they had, right? So, I guess with it being considered a program was more of a reprieve, I guess, from getting any tickets or grace period, I guess, would be the best thing now. So, they're gonna continue with following through. Now, I get out a lot more than probably most of you guys here, dealing with the public. And, I don't know how many people that are thankful for finally enforcing some of these. Because a lot of people, their houses bring the value down of the neighbors, you know? And it's not fair, because this neighbor doesn't wanna be bitching about their neighbor, you know what I mean? They don't wanna be that guy. So, it just kinda bring everybody up on the same page.
Do you
Right.
feel
And I
like
got
that a lot of people did
Oh
do
my
it or
God,
not?
I wrote it. So, there were 17 houses on Tuttle Hill Road, what section I'm not 100% sure of, that Roy went through. Out of those 17 houses, there's only 2 of them that still have, there's a couple that just haven't.
So,
steady
I mean,
issue.
people did take
Oh,
advantage
they
of it
really
to.
did,
Okay.
they did a good job, and Ypsilanti, Sumter, a couple of other people, they were wanting to adopt the same program, you know, to kinda
Well, I felt it was a
incentivize,
success.
so it turned out pretty good.
They're still using dumpsters too.
Yeah.
We've got dumpsters sitting there now, it's about half full, we got 2 more dumpsters left with this cleanup, grant. So we still have 2 dumpsters left for the year that are gonna be available until the end of the year.
Is this something that we can apply for grant-wise to continue this, or do
I
you
don't
think
know,
this
it's
too will
definitely
probably be the, okay,
Yeah, I can find out.
okay.
Check into it, you know, if
Yeah,
it's something
because
to
I
help
think that's a
benefit.
great thing to have, so people do have the opportunity, you know, because, you know, like Sumter has like dump passes and stuff like that they can use, we don't really have anything like that. So if it's something we can continue to get some dumpsters, I think that would help
Right, well,
people
for the
not
most,
trashing on the side of the road, hopefully as much, and not leaving things in the yard.
and for the most, you know what I mean, like say you had 31 cases or whatever, just 31 already, they won 31 out of however many was there, a bunch of them, 30, 40, 50 people, you know?
Yeah.
That makes a big difference, you know? Plus, you want your value, your property to stay nice, you know?
Right.
So it's, for the most part, it's a pretty good success.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all you guys that pick up garbage and that you guys worked on it so hard, and that's why I wanted to know too, because you put such an effort into it. We did mailings, and it was a lot of work, and, you know, it's
Well, I
good
get a
that
lot
it's
of,
even
I get a
worth
lot
it.
of people that are appreciative
Yeah,
of it, so. More so than the handful that, you know what I mean, that bitch about it, you know?
and the green team
Yeah,
too. Absolutely.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, Mike, you got something for us?
I'm gonna go to Stephanie first.
I'm sorry, yep, Steph.
Well, in talking about curb appeal, Eagle has another recycling infrastructure grant that I'm looking into to see if we qualify. And if so, we could talk about putting receptacles like in the township for recycling, instead of having to like haul it to the dump. And then you can even get vehicles for like bigger stuff like mattresses and things like that you can apply for. So I'm going to look into that. It's due by January 28th, so we have like all of December and most of January to figure that out. And then the Housing Readiness Incentive Grant, that was submitted on time. For the curb appeal program, we removed 120 cubic yards of waste, 150,000 pounds of scrap was removed, and then a 4-page curb appeal flyer was sent out to 2,443 residents. As far as road improvements, we are 50% done, and the remainder of the 50% should be completed by fall. The pedestrian crossing is complete. The township step repair complete, and that's much safer for people to walk on. And then the cemetery software is launched and ready to go.
Very good. Very good. All right, is that it, Steph? Okay, the housing readiness quarterly report, who does that?
Did you wanna, is it in here, Glenda? Yeah, I think Stephanie reported what we finally.
Oh, Steph, she just
Yeah.
reported
Yeah.
that it did, yeah.
Yeah.
I just listened to it too, I told you I'm tired. Mike gets on you on the roads.
All right, well, I'm gonna meet with Trevor next week to get a kind of a toll on what roads are gonna get repaired around here this year and what we're gonna decide to do with them. We met with the drain commission last week, Todd and I, and we went over all these drains from Arcona, Hitchingham, Gooding, all over. And they have determined that we've got an issue with water travel, we all knew that. So they're gonna put a plan together to try to clean the drain, it's called the York Augusta drain. And there was another name of another drain that starts on Gooding and goes west. They're gonna try to get a plan together, restructure that whole drain system, so everything will flow better, to get it out of our yards, to get it out of our backyards, to get it off our property. They determined that it is a problem. So they're gonna get a plan together and get back with us on that, to determine how we're gonna handle it. So, the roads, like I said, Trevor hurt his foot, so he's been off. So he's gonna get with me and Todd next week, we're gonna drive the roads. And as far as the curb appeal cleanup, this week, Keith and I went out and we picked up over 41 tires. We picked up a whole trailer load full of stuff, chairs, mattresses, all kinds of stuff. And then Wendy went out with the green team, they picked up over 20 bags of trash. How many tires did you get, 4? 4. So right now, we're sitting in the township hall, we've got over 100 tires in the old fire station that we're calling Silver Lining to come and pick up. Next week? Okay, so they're gonna charge us $2.50 a piece per tire. No. If we put them in the dumpster, it's $4 a piece. So we're gonna have Silver Lining come and pick those tires up, take the lesser of the evils, and get those tires out of the fire station, because they've been in there for a little while. There's 100 in there. So it's quite a bit of tires we picked up in the last year or two. But for overall, the trash has went down a lot, but we're getting a lot more tires. And I don't know why all of a sudden we're getting all the tires. People think because we have dumpsters now, that we'll just pick it up and they're gonna throw it over the side. I don't know. But the tires are a big problem. So, that's about all I have.
Very good. And if you see anybody dumping anything, say something, or a bag of trash with a mail in it or whatever, report it, because we're gonna prosecute whoever dumping this stuff in the trash and, to the fullest extent. This is not a dumping ground.
Yeah, right. And also, one other last thing is, we're gonna do our Christmas parade this year on December 13th. We've got the permits already pulled. It's gonna start at McKean like it always does, at 4:30 lineup. Parade will leave McKean on Willis Road at 5. Lynn's gonna have Santa up there's gonna be stuff for the kids, and we're gonna stop the parade in town for however long we need to, and the fire department's gonna block off the roads for us like they always do. And we're gonna have a tree lighting ceremony and everything that we usually have. It'll be on December 13th. If anybody's got anything they wanna put in the parade, a tractor, a horse, a dune buggy, a side-by-side, wanna decorate it up, you're more than welcome. Just give me a call and let me know so I can put everybody in the lineup.
I talked to Dominic and he said he would accommodate the,
Trailer?
yeah,
Okay.
the board, and, yeah, we decorate.
Oh, okay. Does he need any decorations or anything, or?
We could reach out to him.
Let me know, I'll take some stuff out there.
Yeah.
If anybody knows somebody's got a 20-foot tree they wanna get rid of, it's in decent shape, it'll look good for a Christmas tree, let us know, or now we're gonna go get one, Chelsea.
All right, so we're gonna, start wrapping things up, then y'all set, Mike, thank you, everybody. It's, like I say, we got 1 year into this new board. And man, it's something, I appreciate the opportunity to get to work with each and every one of these sitting up here at the table, even though it has some differences with some in the community. I like the openness and the conversation that we have. Don't necessarily like some of the topics, but it's good to be open on both ends. We got 1 year down, we got a group of people that have a opportunity to become friends and work really well together. I wouldn't wanna do this job without each and every one of them here. Mr. Allen, Mike, everybody, those who hide behind the scenes, Marcia and Joanne, some that don't really, Kathleen, yeah, I didn't forget about her.
Patty?
It's really a really great team that we've had, that the community has assembled, you know, and it's been a great learning experience for me. Like I say, each and every one that's up here that I get to work with, I consider a friend. And I really appreciate working with you guys over this year and putting up with me. I know I'm not the easiest sometimes.
Oh, we appreciate you.
The communication between
That's
the
really
employees
good.
really well too.
And it's great that, y'all, some people have an issue, the fact that we get along, but that's okay. You'd want a community, the communities who put us here. And they did a really good job for assembling a great team. So hats off to those in the community that done their work and done their job to have us all here. And I appreciate every one of you guys. All right? So let's open up the public comment. 3 minutes for anything you guys want to talk about.
Hi again, folks. Ryan Shannon from Dickinson. Right, one more time. I just wanted to make one quick correction on timing. I went back and checked the STC guidelines.
Can't hear.
Yeah, sorry, I can hear that. Thanks. Again, Ryan Shannon, just wanted to make one quick correction on the STC timing. I had said 90 days before. You have about 90 days left. It's 120 days from the date of the application, which was back on October 22nd. So you actually have until mid-February. Not that it was gonna be rushed anyway. Chris has my information, so if you get a list of questions, I'm happy to respond to those, however we can be helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you guys taking a beat on this request. It did not go down that way in York, they just pushed it through, and I think you're doing your due diligence, and I appreciate you for that. When you start digging into things, the point that Rob brought up earlier, the bills likely would have an indeterminate, although likely negative fiscal impact on local governments of unknown magnitude. This is Bill MCL 211.9 and 211.9F, so if you're gonna look into anything, I would suggest that you look into those two at the state level to see why their own state bill, they had that opinion of it. Mike was right, the green team, those guys hauled out so much big garbage. We came in with a smaller crew, we got 20 bags and tires. We put something on the Facebook page, because we have these dumpsters left for the rest of the year. If people want to clean up their road, take a selfie, dump it in the dumpster, that would be great. So that's kind of an ongoing thing right now. I depend on the weather if we do any more organized things for the rest of the year. I wondered if there was any update. I know last month you mentioned Thor was supposed to call you back about the data center.
Yeah, they haven't talked to me yet.
Yeah, that was it. So, thank you.
My name is Craig Woods, and I'd like to thank the board for appointing me to those positions. My question is, the tower. I understand it's going in, and I know there's nothing we can do about it. But what was the response that you got back from the person, or not person, but the company that's building it regarding doing something to make it aesthetically pleasing or to look decent? Were you able to get any kind of response back from them?
I haven't heard any, I haven't talked to
I
them.
haven't heard
They
anything.
made the promise to begin with. that
I know they sent something over to the fire chief.
Yeah, so.
I haven't heard any more since then.
So what I would like to ask is, our legal department, whoever that, our lawyer, if he or she could look into it and find out if there's any way we could amend our zoning to have them do something. You know, it's going in, I understand, I see the markers out there for the road approach. But
Well, you
it's,
can't, oh, I'm sorry.
no,
I was just gonna say, you can't change something now, it wouldn't be effective for this.
but that's what I'm
project.
asking,
Yeah.
if someone could check into it and see if that's a possibility. Because I did receive some information that says that until there's a substantial amount of building that has been done, in some cases in Michigan, you can, if you amend your zoning, something can be done to make them change things that, not nuisance things, but things that are, would, so, in so many words, please the community. And it's not trying to tell them they can't have it, because we know they're gonna get it.
Try to make it look more
But,
appealing.
yes, and can you make that effort to ask our legal department to look into it?
So Craig, so what is your biggest concern
Well, my concern is when I get up in the
with looking
morning.
at it, like what is it that you'd like to have addressed if you could?
Okay. It's just the way you get up, I'm not used to looking at a giant tower. So when I wake up in the morning, even though the trees are probably about 60, 70 feet, I'm assuming, I'm gonna see this another 100+ feet of tower there with these white boxes all over it. And it's gonna be, it's gonna increase because other carriers are gonna wanna put their boxes up there, their antennas. So I'm asking that if they can make it look like a tree, fine, that's something. If they can do something with the colors, that's something also. But it would be better to have something done than, when I drive down 94 and 23 and I see those towers, it's just horrible. And I don't wanna get up in there every morning, because when I leave my home, I walk out of my garage or I drive out of my garage, and it faces south. And that, right to my left, is gonna be this monstrosity.
So are you looking more for an assurance that they're gonna do something, or are you looking at more,
Yes.
you want a plan of what they're planning on doing?
Well, I think it would be best if you all could tell them, okay, the community wants such and such. They want it to look like a tree. They want it to look, they want it to look decent. That's all I'm asking. You know, I paid a lot of money, like I said before. I built 3 homes on Floyd McFall Drive. And I gotta look at that every morning.
If I'm not
Yeah, I
mistaken,
don't want to-
didn't
He
our
said he
attorney
would
talk
work
to
with-
them
he
and
would work
they
with us on
they
something like
said
that.
they
The very
would?
first meeting, he did say that.
Yeah,
The young man that was here.
Yep.
But the second gentleman who was here, he said, I believe he was their lawyer or whatever.
yeah.
When I made that suggestion during the planning meeting, he got up and said, no, I am not gonna do anything.
I think our attorney made an agreement that they said they would, or?
But if it's,
Well, my-
can we get it in writing?
Well,
I don't know if there's an agreement.
I'm not.
My question is this already been through the site plan review and everything, has it already been passed through the planning
Yes.
commission?
It has been.
It has,
It has requirements that they had to finish up with Carlisle Working.
So I guess where we're at, and this is kind of a teeter-totter, how do you put this word on? I don't care if it hurts anybody's feelings, I
Back
guess.
and forth.
But what happens is, I'm trying to play the political correctness kind of guy here. What happens is, in the beginning of this situation, when they had the right to come in or put in to have this done, right? And they said, I guess got turned away. I don't know how exactly that went, right? Then when they come back the next go around, they can put it in exactly up to what they had to as a standard. So I guess in the beginning, from what I was understanding, that they were more willing to work with trying to make it more appealing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they got shut down, and then the courts got involved, and then now we only have to do what we have to do at this point. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
only thing we
I
can
totally
do is,
understand that.
so only thing we can do now, I guess, is at this point is try to, ask, you know, if there's something that we can do.
Well, my question was to you all, if it can't be done, it can't be done. But can you ask our legal if that's true, that you can you can amend your zoning to a certain extent to,
Yeah, we
Make
can,
that happen.
that's fair.
that's it, you know.
Well, if anybody in the
Well,
board
you
can
can't make a
contact and
zoning
talk, give me the
retroactive.
information, I'll call them, I'll see what the plan is. Ain't no problem talking to them.
Yeah, that's not enough, that's not an unfair request. There you go.
Yeah.
That was my question.
All right. Thank you.
Do you know, Keith or even Robert, what was said in the site plan? Like, do they already have a plan for the finishing of it, or is that part that was out
Well,
there?
at the first go around, they were willing, where they were open. And after the second, the lawyer showed up and, I can't remember his name, the owner company didn't show up, just his lawyer. And his lawyer said that wasn't happening.
So in the beginning, you know what I mean, they had opportunity to where that door was open to keep it in the stipulations, hey, let's do this, make it look, heck, 'cause people don't wanna see that crap in
And
there.
since we violated their rights,
Since they got kinda,
I don't mean it's still ain't gonna work for you though, it don't hurt to ask.
yeah, don't.
It doesn't hurt to
Yeah.
it
ask,
doesn't
no.
hurt to
Yeah,
ask
if
at
anyone
all.
could talk, but I said, give me the information, I'll contact them.
Yes.
No problem with that.
May I ask one question, make one statement or not?
What you got, Greg?
All I was doing is asking you all to find out from, again, the legal department, and see if we have any rights or anything that, a leg to stand on. We may or may not.
Yeah.
And I can accept that, but find out and work for us. Thank you.
Very good.
My name is Dan Devlin. I live at 12301 Macron Road. I live right on the solar panels. I live on the fields. I'm right there. And I can tell you right now, I'm glad to hear the board is actually gonna take some time to review what's going on and make sure you're getting what you want. I feel from what my experience has been with the solar panel fields, we've been lied to several times, over and over, from the simplest things, such as we're not gonna work past 5 o'clock, and I'm working until 8:30, 9 o'clock still today. I mean, tonight not, but I can tell you that that was one of the promises they had up front. And that has not been followed. Right now, we have to contend with massive amounts of, I've gone to the township board and they told me, well, there's no more fast trucks or semis down there. I have semis on my road every day. I've been told you guys that they were done, but that's not true. They fly up and down our road. My neighbor has kids and he's yelling at them because of the fact that they go so fast and they won't slow down. I mean, the only true thing I've ever gotten from the solar panel group was one thing. I came and I asked them to show me the plans of what their future was, what they're going to do, what the whole complete plan is. And the only thing they ever told me that was true was the fact that they don't have to show me that. The only thing they have to show you is what's in front of you. And that's it. So be careful with your decisions. Take the time to go into February, if that's what it takes. But get an informed decision when you do it. Because I can tell you from talking, I was out in my yard, and a gentleman drove up by me and came out of my house, because I live on the dead end road. He came up to me and he says, he stopped his vehicle and he says, hi. And he gave me his name and he said, I'm from down south. I'm a solar panel engineer. He goes, you guys don't know how bad you got it. He goes, what's coming? The effects of this are not good. He said, and he goes, and he goes, I know you guys have probably had a lot of this rammed down your throats. He goes, I know that you guys had a lot of this done, because a lot of stuff that we had, we weren't informed until after the fact, a lot of stuff. And when we came to meetings, it was like, well, we sent out all the flyers, we never received them. So I'm just telling you, please be careful, because there's a lot to consume, and that's gonna have a lot of effects. And I know the water effects that we're going to have is really gonna be tough. They are down our road with water trucks constantly because they're drilling and they gotta keep the temperatures down. And I know that it's gonna have a lot of wells are gonna dry out. We're going to have issues coming in the future. So I'm telling you, just be careful with whatever decisions you make on your taxes and stuff like that, because I just don't feel you can always trust what they're giving you. That's all I'm trying to say. So please take the time until February if that's what you need. but make sure you're making informed decisions. And you don't have to do it just from people here in Michigan, because we have a big country here, and they've already probably gone through a lot of these things. And I know a lot of these are new tax things that are available that we haven't had in the past. So just please do your research on this, because you're not gonna get the information from them, I'm being quite honest with you. So, thank you.
Yeah, Robert, you're Luncheon Road. Something else that I wanted to point out, I actually didn't see it until I just looked through the packet during the meeting. And it also helps maybe clarify the question the clerk had about the statement where I said someone asked about an exemption. That person's no longer on the planning commission, they're not here tonight, I'd rather not, call them out publicly. But that project went on for probably 9 to 3 years, I don't know. There were a couple of dozen meetings maybe between the business item itself, public hearings, et cetera. Probably had to be up to 100 hours of dialogue, back and forth with, at the time, Rail Splitter, Whitetail and Rail Splitter, I guess back to Whitetail now, but whatever. The representatives of the solar company that were there during the development, they're not here tonight. It wasn't part of the 19 conditions that I mentioned. Those were physical things that related to the site plan and the requirements for, what they were gonna put in. But it was a question that was asked as part of dialogue. Are you going to apply for tax exemptions? And the answer was no. Now, part of that may be that this enrolled House Bill number 4317, which is in the packet, I again, haven't read the whole thing in all honesty. But this, I'm assuming that this is what, dictates what we're talking about today, the payment in lieu of taxes versus the ad valorem taxes. The effective date of that is July 27, 2023. That would be well after the case wrapped up. So there's probably some time that elapsed in between as well. So that probably clarifies some of what you were asking. But I also want to note the very first paragraph of that, it says an act to provide for the establishment of a solar energy district in certain local governmental units to provide for the exemption of certain taxes to levy and collect a specific tax, et cetera, et cetera. As someone who runs somewhat as a skeptic, and the fact that the very first paragraph, the very first sentence uses the word exemption, that gives me pause. I know we looked at numbers that were run, again, I can't calculate it, so I'm certainly not criticizing anyone, but I'm also a bit of a skeptic on that. I get the idea of even equal annual payments, but if we get more money up front, that could be put in the fund balance and it could be budgeted out over the life of the thing too. I acknowledge,